Leave Valiant alone. Something that I said that some persons got offended about. But of course, I said leave Valiant alone in context. And I was hoping that we would allow our intellect to be our guide. And let's not be intellectually dishonest. Like many of my fellow believers, I believe that Mr. Valiant was extremely wrong to have done a project like that. It was a slap in our faces as believers, as persons who are part of the faith. Valiant should retract that project and make an apology to Jamaicans, because Jamaica is predominantly a Christian nation. We have the most churches per square mile. We have a national anthem that is a prayer to God, and a national pledge that starts out by saying, before God and all mankind. When I look at the outrage from the church community, especially on social media, regarding Valiant and his publicity stunt, in comparison to matters affecting our nation in a negative way, there is an imbalance. And what I'm simply saying, to whom it may concern, if you find that you are more vocal about sensational topics like Valiance, but you are found wanting when it comes to advocating for proper governance, integrity, accountability, and transparency from our leaders, you are on the wrong side of the fence. Where was the same level of outrage when the Auditor General made a report that the government of Jamaica only used less than 2% of the 1.44 billion that was given in cash donations to benefit our fellow brothers and sisters who are currently suffering in the West? Where was the same level of advocacy when we drive on our roads every day and it's always another pothole or another crater, yet the Minister of Road and Works is telling us about the Spark program, the Reach program, and the Go program? Where is this same level of advocacy when we look at the fact that the face of Jamaica in the form of Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has been unable to certify his statutory declarations because his assets are disproportionate to his earnings? Where is the same level of advocacy when we look at Dr. Andrew Wheatley, somebody who had to step down from leadership in 2018 because under his tutelage a whole lot of hanky-panky happened at Petrojam and in other places? Where is the same level of advocacy, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at it that this government will be agreeing to have deportees, some 10,000 of them, in our nation, though this is currently unlawful in the United States of America? Where is the same level of advocacy when I look at it that the Auditor General revealed that the National Water Commission has about over 33 billion in debt, and that is the reason why we continually have old pipes, no improvement in our water infrastructure? So many communities have had to be protesting, we want water in 2026. Where is the same level of advocacy when I look at the entire current governance of this nation, that several ministries were flagged by the Auditor General for either misappropriation of funds, lack of oversight, or procurement breaches? Where is this same level of advocacy when I take a look up by the University Hospital of the West Indies and I recognize that the amount of hanky-panky going on there, the 500 and odd million in contracts awarded without proper oversight? Where is the church? Where is the same level of advocacy to demand that a reshuffle takes place in our governance structure? Where is the same level of advocacy? I studied political science at the university level. That's my degree. And maybe that's the reason why I seem to be more passionate about things surrounding our governance. But the truth is, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like politics, yes or no, whatsoever happens in God's house affects you and affects me, be it JLP or PNP. To be quite frank with you, Valiant can do whatever he wants to do. He will have to answer to God. But this government of Jamaica is not at liberty to do whatsoever it is that they want to do, because their decisions affect every single Jamaican in this country, the born and the unborn, because that is how policies work and that's how governance work. When they make bills and pass bills and they become law in our nation, it affects every Jamaican citizen, the born and the unborn. To be quite frank with you, Valiant can do another video like that for all I care. He will have God to answer to. We pray for him and we pray that he will get his soul right with God before it is too late. But I want us to have even a greater amount of passion and concern about the few people cocking up in parliament, getting millions of dollars every year, every month, doing absolutely nothing more than just enriching themselves and seeing to it that their friends benefit. Nepotism, cronyism, and the oligarchs and the elites continue to rob the poor blind in this country, and none of you have the same passion against these things. But you want to flood our FYP with Valiant, and the law itself, NARA is now a law, and the law itself says little to nothing about assisting the hurricane victims. And we all want to flood social media with Valiant and his music video. We are too distracted. We are too emotional. Let's get back to the things that really matter. Jamaica is in trouble and you're all sitting down here doing things for likes and for views. It's a disgrace.